In early March 2024, several YouTube channels in Vietnam were struck by copyright claims from an entity calling itself Thuy Company. These channels, which range from hundreds of thousands to millions of subscribers, are significant revenue sources for content creators. Examples include Karaoke Nhat Nguyen, Hio Organ, and Wylin Official. A strike on YouTube is the highest level of copyright infringement warning. If a channel receives 3 strikes, it can be shut down, directly affecting the revenue that YouTube pays to the owner. Accompanying the strikes, this entity also submitted a lawsuit notification, the lawsuit itself, and corporate documents of Thuy Company to YouTube, making it impossible for the channel owners to restore the videos. This has caused and continues to cause significant financial damage to the owners. Contesting these strikes requires extensive technical and legal maneuvers and a prolonged handling time. It should also be noted that copyright complaints on YouTube that lead to channel restorations often end up in civil copyright lawsuits. These lawsuits are complex and lengthy, and content creators often lack the resources for such legal activities. YouTube is not the authority to decide who owns the rights, especially in disputes in foreign countries like Vietnam. The authority to judge belongs to the courts. In Vietnam, copyright cases typically take years to conclude. Only when a court decision is rendered can YouTube reinstate a channel. Just the lawyer fees at the first instance can amount to hundreds of millions of Vietnamese dong. Additionally, international cases involve long and discouraging legal procedures, forcing channel owners to choose to pay the claimant to remove the strikes quickly. According to experts looking deeper into the criminal aspect, forcing another entity to pay to avoid greater damage constitutes the crime of extortion. Extortion is defined in Article 170 of the 2015 Penal Code. It involves threatening to use violence or other means to intimidate someone into relinquishing property. The threat in this case means causing severe damage to the income paid by YouTube to the channel owners. Extortion is considered complete as soon as any of these acts are performed, regardless of whether the property is actually extorted. In reality, some content creators, such as Karaoke Nhat Nguyen, Hio Organ, Wylin Official, have had to choose a less costly and quicker solution to restore their channels. The quicker the channel is restored, the sooner they can recover the costs for the undue losses incurred. Specifically, in this case, channel owners were forced to pay the party who issued the strikes. Reportedly, just the 3 owners mentioned earlier had to pay up to 650 million VNDs directly to the striking party. The financial loss is one thing, but more critically, there is a loss of stability and public trust in the legal discipline on the digital platform. It's hard to measure how much creativity and dedication are stifled by blatant extortion and the arrogance of the perpetrators. Ultimately, the broader Vietnamese audience and the nation's creative culture suffer the most. Besides signs of extortion, another serious issue in this case lies in the authenticity of the documents Thuy Company provided. Specifically, this entity forged documents bearing the signature of a retired judge of the Hanoi People's Court and the court's seal to submit to YouTube. The forgery also shows in the inconsistencies, while the documents are headed Hanoi People's Court. They conclude with Cao Giai District People's Court. Moreover, the lawsuit filings by the overseas entity were not legally notarized or consularized, despite the foreign element involved. This incident shows clear signs of forgery by Thuy Company in pressuring channel owners to pay. This forgery alone provides sufficient grounds for authorities to act under Article 341 of the Penal Code 2015, amended in 2017, which addresses crimes of forging seals and documents of agencies or organizations, crimes of using forged seals or documents of agencies or organizations. The forgery aimed at extorting assets from overseas entities affecting Vietnamese content creators online has seriously destabilized the creative and business activities of the owners, undermining trust in the rigor of the law. This has sounded an alarm to the relevant Vietnamese authorities about a sophisticated and relatively new type of crime on the digital infrastructure. Regulatory and legal authorities need to intervene decisively, on the one hand, to protect content creators in Vietnam, and on the other, to maintain strict legal discipline on the digital platform.